30 years announcing a game, and everybody loves you, you should be considered to be in the Hall of Fame.
He's a gentleman.
You know?
Come on, start it up.
All right, guys, we got a special treat for you today. We're with one of the legendary officials in all of lacrosse. We got our man Al Blau on hand. And we're here with Frankie T, newly minted as the Adelphi Hall of Fame. And my dear brother, the GOAT, Vince.
Look at
He's a goat.
six and a half today.
So one of the questions I had for Al, this is what I was saying. I was wondering, are there, in all of your years of officiating, are there particular coaches that you always felt a privilege in terms of doing their games where you were like, wow, this is a fun treat to ref the game?
Yeah, you want me to name some of them?
Sure.
John Donowski. My very, very favorite of all time was Dave from up at Hobart. Urick. Him. Dom Starza.
How about Richie?
Richie Moran was one of the best. And even back in high school at Sewanaka, Bill Rich, the best.
Okay, so even the high school, going back. So
Absolutely.
How did you get your start? Let's go back to that. Like, how did you get started in officiating?
Well,
how did that come about?
Well, having never played the game, which a lot of coaches would complain about since I never played, I was hired at a high school to teach. And one of the men who was also hired to coach football and be the head lacrosse coach was Fran McCall, who I'm sure a lot of old timers remember.
Yep.
And while he and I were coaching JV football, he said, which I didn't know at the time, he was a college lacrosse official. And he said to me, why don't you become a lacrosse official? And I said, what's lacrosse? I had no idea. And I got involved.
What year would that have been?
It was 1962.
Oh, wow.
In 1962, there were only 6 teams on Long Island that played lacrosse. 5 in Nassau and 1 in Suffolk, who was Huntington High School, who was coached by a man named Flip Murray. He was their coach for many years. And they played round robin. And that was my start. And because I had such great mentors, including Frenchie Julian, who was my teacher in high school, they taught me how to referee lacrosse. Not learn the rules. Anyone can get 100 in the rules nest, but they're allowed the official on the field. But they taught me about the game. And I just fell in love with officiating. And from there, I had the opportunity to do from junior high to international to club, post-collegiate. Made a lot of good friends with players like all you 3 guys who were here.
I was your favorite.
Well, let's not go that far, Frank.
I was your favorite. You never flagged, Al. You never flagged. You won me.
I don't know about that. I would bet that he flagged all 3 of us. I would bet he flagged. I know he flagged Vinny.
To give me warnings, but he never flagged. He was the best.
But I'll tell you, it was a great run. I refereed for 43 years. I got to the point in my life where, you're a young buck and you run up and down the field and you keep up with the players. Then you learn how to cheat a little bit. You think you're just as fast. But then you have to really cheat. And that's the time to start either going down a level or 2 or training new officials. But I always felt my entire life, regardless of what level it was time for young people to take over. And it was time for me to leave, so I went into training.
But you're probably at 90 in better shape than half of the officials out there. Because you gave me a bear hug and you squeezed the life out of me.
Still strong as an ox. Still strong as an ox.
Well, I can walk fast. Well, I can't even walk fast anymore. But I think I used to be able to walk faster than some guys could run.
I believe it. I believe it.
I have a question, Fal. I want to ask, what do you feel was the highlight of your refereeing career? Was it on the international level? Was it the first time you ref?
What was it? A spectacular game? A particular game that sticks in your mind?
You might have more than one.
I do have more than one. I even explained to you guys about the game I did in the Hobart, Washington game, but I can't use those words anymore. But I would say the ultimate of my career was twofold. One was being selected to referee in the World Games in 1982. Then I go to California in 1984 when they wanted to put it in the Olympics. then to be again selected to referee the 1992 under 19s. And then I was able to travel the world pretty much for free to referee in the German championship, to referee in the England championship, to referee in all these playoffs and championship games, to make all these friends I made from all over the world. And to go from that point on, which I got from Jake Curran, who has since passed, who was a wonderful human being, who used to run the tryouts for the World Games. I was his right-hand man. He made me his right-hand man. And when he didn't do it anymore because he got moved up to another level, he recommended me to run those. And I was able to run those to get a committee to select the new officials to work the World Games. Because in the old days, it was like in England and Germany and all those places, whoever had the most money, because they had to pay for themselves, you saw the same faces over and over again.
Right.
And it's not right to see the same faces over and over again. Was to get new faces involved. And this is what was great in moving from being a referee to help select the new officials who come up and not see the older guys come in to move the new guys up. Because it's a wonderful experience refereeing international groups.
Well, that's great. You know, is there any particular guys that you enjoyed working on a crew with?
No, I enjoyed everybody I worked with. Even if I didn't agree with the way they refereed, I always enjoyed, because if I could reach out, and because of the mentorship that I received, I was able to pass on what I learned to them. And if they accepted it, they did. If they didn't, that was their problem.
I will say, you know, Al has definitely been a recognizable face, and we're old timers now. But like coming up and growing up, you know, there were obviously a lot of games going on and a lot of officials, but you stand out as one of those memorable ones that people will always know. You know,
Well, there's a lot to his technical abilities, but between his build and his voice and that mustache, how could you miss him?
You weren't listening.
Well, they knew who I was.
And at 90 years old, you wouldn't want to arm wrestle this guy because it's going to be embarrassing.
I'll tell you a funny story. I don't know if you want to put this on.
we can put everything out.
I'm refereeing a game at CW Post. And in those days, they never got a lot of fans at the game. But there was one guy, he was a spectator, but he was sitting up in the corner of the stands and breaking my chops. Just give me I didn't hear him. Baby. So as we're going on in the game, the other official I'm working with says, "This guy is sweet. Do you hear him?" I said, "I hear a lot of people. I'm out here to ref the game." But he said, "What are you going to do to this guy?" I said, "Well, after the game, I'm going to go up in the corner and I'm going to give him a piece of my mind." And after the game was over, I went up in the corner, gave him a piece of my mind, and every game I did at CW Post, I was the greatest referee that ever got in the field. You can't do that today.
I love it.
You got to have a question. Frank, you got to have a question. Let's go.
Come on, Nate.
Come on.
What was some of the best games, like a memorable game, like one particular game, well, you know, that when we beat Levittown Memorial 8-7 and they choked? Or
I don't remember.
He did the game.
He did the game?
They choked. They were seeded 2. We were 5.
Frank made it all about him.
One thing he don't.
Frank wasn't missing an opportunity.
I had to get that out after all these.
Well, you know what?
Choke.
Well, I'll answer you this way, Frank. And this is the way I've always felt. I didn't care whether it was a youth game or it was the World Championship game. I refed every game like it was a World Championship final.
Right.
And I think that's also one of the reasons why I was able to be successful in the game, because to me, I always believed that the players are working hard to win. I don't care how bad or good the teams were. They're out there to win a game.
Yeah.
And if they're out to win a game and I'm refereeing, I want to give them the best that I could give them. Sometimes they agreed, sometimes they disagreed, but I did the best that I could.
You hear so many people talking about the challenges of officiating, you know, more than anything now. Do you think it's heading in the right direction or the wrong direction? What do you think has to be done to get more officials involved? It seems like they need to get more people involved.
I do, and one of the reasons was when I first started out officiating, you found, not to pick out a certain person or people, a lot of teachers refereed as a second job.
Right.
Because they got out of school early and they can make a 4 o'clock game. And because, and some people might not like to hear this, but because of the way the fans are today and the way some coaches act, they're brutalizing officials. And if you're a new official, and I'll give you an example, sometimes refereeing with a new varsity official, a coach, no names will be said, a coach knowing that the official was new, they're all over.
Yeah. Get an edge.
And I have said to coaches during a game, listen, you're going to drive a potentially good official out of the game by being all over. If you want to yell, yell at me. I can handle it. But give these guys a break. I'm taking care of him on the field, but you're going to drive him out of the game. And this is when it's happened. When you look at what an official has to pay just to become an official,
Right.
between dues and a uniform and all this other stuff, before he even steps on the field, and now he steps on the field, and parents and coaches and even players sometimes are giving him a hard time. The first thing that comes to their mind, even with $400 or $500 layout, before they've even stepped on the field, they say, screw it, I don't want any part of it, and they walk away.
I think of this idea. I think I got an idea. I know some people think I'm crazy with these ideas, but I think this is an idea. It starts from the youth level, starts from whatever the PAL league is. Most parents, they get involved in whatever, whether they're Levittown, whether they're Mineola, Paul Washington, Manhasset. They coach their kids, many levels. And they're all a part of that one league that Harvey started many, many years ago. I say that the parents, right, whoever's going to be interested, if you want to be interested in coaching, that they have to sign up to be officials, not for their own games, but they have to mandatorily do the reffing schools. They have to do all of that, and then they have to ref some other games. The reason why I think that should be done is, one, they have to do it because they want to coach their kids. Two, they get a feel when they're doing somebody else's game, whether or not the parents and all the families, that they realize how hard it is and they learn that lesson. Three, maybe they'll like doing it and they get a little money and they say, you know what, I maybe will try to do this on another level, but it gives them a feeling. Make the coaches learn it, learn the rules. A lot of
I agree.
Parent coaches don't know the rules of the game.
Right.
Making them do the referee and they might learn the rules.
Right. It's not easy. It's fun. I love the game. As I said earlier, I never played the game because in the years that I grew up, there was no lacrosse.
Right.
But when I started refereeing, because Fran had gotten me into the game, I just realized I'm not collecting uniforms after the season's over. I'm not doing this. I just get dressed and go on to, and I'll tell you a funny story after this, and just do the game. And it was just a nice release for me. But as a result of that, I learned to love officiating. And I really loved officiating. I couldn't wait to get on the field for the next game, whatever the level might have been.
You were the best at it.
Thank you, Frank.
One of the best. Well, we appreciate it. We got to spend a nice lunch with you. We really appreciate it.
Oh, and I love
coming
this.
out.
I'll tell you, you guys, you made my day.
And we're doing it again on his 100th birthday.
I hope I can hug you the way you hug.
He's going to make it easy.
All right, guys, signing off.
Signing off.
He wasn't like a ranked player. So,
Is it good morning, good evening? Here we are
yeah, fantastic.
at the greatest restaurant on Long Island, Brian and Cooper. So, how many clowns we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 9 or 8 total. 9 total clowns.
Let me tell you.
We're here together on Christmas Eve. Soon to be Christmas Eve. One of the reasons why we're here today is we got 3 main guys that are here. Their sons are all seniors except for one. There's a sophomore, and they're all captains. Let's give a hand for JP. His son is captain. Dartmouth. He's a beast. Do you know who he is, Vinny? Introduce your friend
Oh,
here.
do your thing. You do your thing. You do. It's your show. This is your show.
Mike Ferrone, Mr. Penn State, a.k.a. Johnny Burger, man.
That's captain number 2. That's captain number 2.
Captain number 2, he came so long. His kid went to Penn State, a dream. His son is a coach. Greatest gift to a father, man. And then we got
The junior.
what do you mean? Then we got the junior, Ryan Goldstein's dad. He's so proud. He never won it. Only thing with Timmy, he never won in college.
He never won in college.
Just like Vinny Sombrano. They're both in the Hall of Fame. They're lucky I wasn't on that panel because if you don't win in college, I can't put you in the Hall of Fame. But I'll give it to them. I like them. But anyway, cheers to his son Ryan and his beautiful wife. And his other son is going there. What's the other son's name?
Gotta be able to remember that small.
Mickey Mouse.
Tommy Boy.
What do they call him? The Mouse. Mickey Mouse. So he's a freshman. So that's it. I don't know what else to say. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
You got your captains. Did it live up to the hype?
Oh, the restaurant was amazing.
Yeah.
Number 1 on Long Island. Chris, what's the best restaurant on Long Island?
This is it. Right?
This is it. Number 1, man. Can't beat it.
Once again.
We're doing dessert and dinner, and now where are we going after this? Some of us are going to the St. John. There he is, JP. It's the St. John's. Patino's driver. Patino's driver. The other guy went from rags to riches. He was living in a little apartment in Queens. Now he's got a mansion in Oyster Bay. He's got 9 stars. He's got 62 fines. He's been paying fines for 22 years. He's Mr.
Oh, he's
St.
warming
John.
up. He's warming up.
He is. It's a big game.
And you
He's
got
warming up.
the ultimate athlete.
Ultimate athlete.
2 sons that are perfect
Exactly.
players. His son, you know, what they're playing.
Of course. Coach Chaminade,
One coach is Charlotte, Thomas O'Connell, and the other one's
professional
playing
basketball player.
basketball player in the
G League.
he's in the G League.
I'm helping him out. I'm giving him the quick notes.
You're helping him out. You're giving him his whole speech.
He's repeating everything.
It's
He said,
It's just repeat and repeat.
I used to pick on Joe Biden. I'm worse than Joe Biden. I'm worse than Joe. All right, signing off. They couldn't do anymore.